System of equations. I'm started recording. System of equations is something that should sound familiar, especially the substitution method. The substitution method is when you replace one with the other and set them equal to each other. For today, they're always going to equal 1. That will make our substitution pretty simple. So I'm going to start with number 3. Both of these equations equals y. If they equal the same thing, then they must equal themselves. They must equal each other. So that means I can write this as x squared minus x plus 2 equals x plus 5. So we can set it up like that. Because they both equal y, you can set it equal to each other. Now we're going to do some algebra to set it equal to 0. The reason is we want to set it equal to 0, because we have an x squared, the best thing to do to solve x squares is to set it equal to 0.
Is that the first question in the homework?
What's up?
Is that the first question in the homework?
Yeah, number 3. So I'm going to do minus x and minus 5. Minus x goes with the x, and minus 5 goes with the constant or the no variable number. So x squared, nothing happens to it. Negative x minus x is negative 2x. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative 3. That equals 0.
So all you're doing is combining them?
You're going to combine them. Then you're going to have to solve for the x's. Now, how you solve for the x's is very interesting because you have to choose. And that might be the hardest part, choosing which one to use.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
How does that equation equal that equation? Like it doesn't work. You're just taking away the y. How is the
Because-
How did you combine the two? I didn't understand that.
Okay, so that's basically the same question. Because they both equal y, right? Because they both equal y, let's say I plugged in a number and I told you they both equal 10. If they both equal 10, then they should be equal to each other.
But they're
Whatever
different formulas. The number could be different in both.
You're right. So there's only certain points where they're exactly equal. And we're going to find the x's, comma, y's to find where they're actually equal. Because in every other point, they're not equal. Like, let's say if I plug in a 10 into the bottom one, 10 plus 5 is 15. If I plug in a 10 here, that's 100 minus 10 plus 2, that's like 92. Like, they're not equal. So there's a very specific point for the x's that they're equal, and that's what we're looking for. Okay? So that's why we're setting it equal to each other. Okay?
I have another question.
Go ahead, Scarlett.
What if it just like doesn't like work? Like,
If there was-
doesn't make sense how it can work every time.
I mean,
No,
I'm
this
making the
time-
questions / using the questions on purpose that they'll work, but there is situations where there is no solution. That's very possible.
Oh,
I should about look at the
Yeah.
thing.
I don't know what the answer is, Jacob. I haven't done it yet, so maybe you're right, maybe not.
If y is 10,
Oh,
like you said. Oh wait, it's not. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought that. Never mind.
all right. So now we're here. Now you have, this is the hardest part typically for people because you have to decide which one to use. So you have to recognize we have multiple methods. We have normal factoring. That's from chapter 8. Or no, chapter 8 or 7. That normal factoring, that's when we do what multiplies a C and that adds a B. Most people find that the easiest. You could do complete the square. The problem with completing a square is a lot of steps and maybe you mess up somewhere. You could use the quadratic equation. The benefit of the quadratic equation is always going to work, the quadratic equation, and is always going to give you your answer. It's just a very big formula to plug in. Or we could use graphing. Tomorrow I'm going to show you how we use graphing. But today, let's just focus on one of the 3 methods we know.
can we do the one that works all the time?
We could do the one that works all the time, but I'm trying to teach you that sometimes we do have an easier route and you want to take it. So let's just check first if we could do a normal factoring. So we're going to do what B and C is. So C is -3 and B is -2. We need things that multiply to -3 that add to -2. There's not many things that multiply to -3. +1 and -3, and -1 and +3. Out of these 2 options, the ones that add up to -2 happens to be the top one. This is negative 2. So we're going to use that. So I'm going to rewrite this part right here as x plus 1, x minus 3. The reason this section might be difficult is because you got to recall a bunch of old stuff. That equals 0. Because it equals 0, what we can do is split and solve for each one individually. So we got
I have a
x.
question. On the homework you posted, you said it was 13 through 18. Do you mean 3 through 8?
From yesterday?
It says 9.6, day 2.
It's what I said. And I did a stream of me doing it, so I think so.
Today is 9.7, day 1.
Yeah, I realize I know. Okay, never mind.
And then the other one is x. I'm sorry, I set it equal to 0. Remember, we could split it and set each one equal to 0. So x minus 3 equals 0, plus 3 on both sides, x equals positive 3. Now, here's the thing, though. When it comes to system of equations, you need 2 variables. You need the x and the y. So this hopefully if you remember system equations, you take your x's and plug it back into one of the original equations, preferably the easier one of the 2. Looking at number 3, the easier one looks like the bottom. It's just x plus 5. So at negative 1, and let me do it in a different color, at negative 1, y equals negative 1 plus 5. That's going to be 4. So that is negative 1, comma, 4. That's your first answer in green right there. Your second answer, you're going to plug in the 3 into the easiest equation. Same one. So that's y equals x plus, or not x, we know what x is, 3 plus 5. So your parentheses, 3, comma, what 3 plus 5 is, 8. So here are your 2 answers.
Is that going to be the same answer to the first equation?
Yes, if you plug it into the first equation, you should get the same answer. If you don't,
Okay.
then you know you made a mistake. So you could check it like that.
Okay.
But yes, it should work either one. That's why I always suggest use the easier one of the 2. Okay? So what will happen is that we set it equal to each other, set it by itself equals 0. Then we have to do some kind of factoring, whether it's quadratic equation, completing the square, normal factoring, slide and divide, whatever you need to do. Okay?
What's sign divide?
That's, remember, when there's that value for A, so you bring it to C.
Oh, okay.
Does that sound familiar? And then you do all the work, and then you divide by C, the original A or something.
You do another one?
Yeah, we're going to do another one. All right. The thing is, this takes up a lot of space, so I kind of want to erase it, but I don't want to erase it right now. So I'm going to start over here, and I'll erase it later. Okay. So number 4, we're going to first, they both equal y. Because they both equal y, I can send them equal to each other. So I got negative x squared plus 4x minus 2 equals 4x minus 6. Okay, so now I want to move everything around to have all the numbers on one side and 0 on the other side. The right side has less numbers, so I'm going to subtract 4x, and it should go with its like term. And then this is going to be a plus 6, because it's minus 6, so the opposite is plus 6, plus 6. Okay, so we do the math. Negative 4 plus 4 happens to be 0, so this gets completely canceled out. This gets completely canceled out. This gets completely canceled out. So all we're left with is negative x squared plus 4 equals 0. Now notice here, we don't have a b value. So what we're going to do is a very straightforward thing. We're going to solve by using square roots. This is from section 9.4 or 9.5, I forget which one of the 2. So we're going to isolate the x squared, and then we're going to square root both sides. So I'm going to minus 4, minus 4. So I got negative x squared equals negative 4. I don't want a negative next to my x. So
Divide by 1.
Yeah, -1, -1. So now I have x squared equals +4, which is good because if it was -4, it would be no solution. We're going to square root both sides. What is the square root of 4, guys? Anybody?
2.
2. But we not just 2. What do we need?
Oh, positive or negative?
Good. Thank you, Jasmine. Positive and negative. So it's plus or minus 2. Plus and minus 2, actually. Plus and minus 2. Okay. So we have all this. We're going to plug it back into our original equations, preferably the easy one. You could plug it into either one, but let's plug it into the easy one. Looks like the bottom's definitely easier than the top. So remember, though, it's plus or minus 2. So you're going to plug in both a positive 2 and a negative 2. You're going to plug in both a positive 2 and a negative 2. So I'm going to plug in positive 2 first. 4 times 2 minus 6. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 6 happens to be 2. So your first point is 2, comma 2.
Do we have to graph this?
You do not need to graph this. You just give me the coordinate point. Okay. Second one, we're going to plug in the negative 2, again to the easier side. 4 times negative 2 minus 6. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Minus 6. Negative 8 minus 6 is going to be a bigger negative, so that's negative 14. So your coordinate point is negative 2, comma, negative 14. So what's interesting about this section is kind of like we're doing a bunch of old stuff all in one shot, which is might be part
Mr.
of.
Kamal,
Go ahead, Scarlett.
number 6, it comes out as a negative.
Yeah, that's fine. Your number could be negative.
Yeah.
Or you square rooting negative. That's the question.
Yeah, I'm square rooting a negative.
All right. Well, let me get to it. Try number 7 then if you want to go, and I'll go over 6 eventually. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Goldman, you had your hand up. What's up?
Yeah. So, I have a question. You know how like with this one, it happened to work out to do the square root, but if it doesn't work out with the square root and there is a b, I'm confused. What are you supposed to do?
So if there is a b, you have multiple options, and that's why it's tough. You could factor it like we did over here on the left.
Nah, I'm not good at that. What's another one?
Okay, you could use the quadratic equation. That's
That's more
negative
confusing.
b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
I'll do the factor thing, but do you do whatever like equals what do you
What
do?
multiplies a c, that adds a b. Now keep in mind though, I think all these are going to come out clean, but sometimes they don't come out clean, and then you are not able to factor that. So then you're forced to do difference of squares or quadratic equation.
Okay, but if there is a b, you could do the square thing, right?
If there's a b, you could do the what?
Can you square it if there's a b?
Like square root it like we did in blue for number 4?
Yeah.
No, because the b prevents you to squaring it. You could do something like factor out x, and maybe that helps you, but it depends on
How do you do number 5?
Again?
Hold
the
on.
fancy thing we did last week, right?
Yeah, you could do the fancy thing last. The fancy thing last week always works. There's no question about it. So that's the benefit of it.
Can you
But
put the formulas on the test?
yes, I'll give you a reference sheet Thursday. There was other questions raised. I don't know who said it. Somebody.
5 just doesn't work.
I didn't give you 5. That's why I didn't. It's 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. Okay. I didn't want to give you a fraction, so I didn't want to go there. All right. Was there any other questions? I heard voices earlier. Okay. I'm going to clear up what's on the board, and I'm going to do 6 and 7, okay? Just to make sure we all get this.
Are we doing that like? Oh, wait, never mind.
Okay, so number 6. All right, number 6. Again, they both equal y, so we can set it equal to each other. 2x squared plus x minus 1 equals negative x minus 3. Second thing, we want to set it equal to 0. So we're going to do plus x here, plus 3 here, plus 3 here, plus x here. So here's 2x squared plus 2x plus 2 equals 0. Okay. Now there's multiple methods to solve this. Now if I wanted to do normal factoring, I'm going to end up finding out it doesn't have any clean C's that add to B's. So that's not going to be something we're able to do. So instead, I'm going to do something that always works. So today, I'm going to for this one, I'm going to purposely do the quadratic equation, which is what we learned last section, 9.6. So I have to identify my A, B, and C. A is 2, B is 2, C is 2. Am I supposed to negatives? No. So that, let's see what we're going to do. -2, and remember, I'm going to give you the equation on the test, so you don't have to remember it, but I'm just going to go through it. Negative b, which is 2, plus or minus the square root of 2 squared, b squared, minus 4 times 2 times 2. Now, Scarlett, I believe you said you found it as a no solution or something like
I
that?
did it a different way.
But you said that you were square rooting a negative, right?
Yeah.
Good, because we're going to get that result too. So
Oh,
let me
okay.
simplify this. So -2 plus or minus, this is going to be in the square root. 4 minus 2, 4 times 2 times 2 is 16. So that's square root of -12. What's my big issue with that over 4?
Can't square root a negative.
Perfect. You can't square root of negative. So as soon as you see that, no solution. Now, Scarlett, did you like factor out 2 and then try to, what do you do?
I got y equals -x minus. I got 2x to the power plus 2 equals 0. So then I just like continued.
You factored, okay. So that
I don't
one,
know the names. I just like know like the formulas. Like by heart.
thankfully I don't ask you for naming them, so yeah. But
Yeah.
as soon as you see a negative inside the square root, no solution. You're done. That's it. You just gotta get to that negative into the square root. Okay. All right. Let's cover number 7. I want to do all these with you just because I don't think this is straightforward. No, easy. So for number 7, same process. They're set equal to each other. So let's set equal to each other. 3x squared minus 6 equals -3x. All right, I want to get 0 on one side. So I'm
Final answer for number 6 is no solution, right?
yes, no solution. And you could tell that no matter what method you use, you could tell that as soon as you see you're ending up squaring root a negative. So if you did complete the squares, which was 9.5, you'll see that you would have a negative on the square root side also. Okay, so we got 3x squared plus 3x minus 6. So I'm going to show you another method how to factor. Let's see if this works. We're going to take out something in common between all 3 terms. What's in common between 3x squared, 3x, and -6?
They all go to 3.
They all have 3, as Liam said. So what I'm going to do is factor out to 3. What does that mean? I'm going to divide each one by 3 and put the 3 on the outside of the parenthesis. So this becomes x squared plus x minus 2. Okay? This 3 out here is just outside. We took it out. Think about it. If you distribute it back in, you will get back to your original equation. So we're allowed to do that. Or we get back to here at least. So you're allowed to do that. Equals 0. Now, since the 3 is on the outside, I could divide 3 here. 0 divided by 3. You know what's really nice? 0 divided by 3 is still 0. So now I have x squared plus x minus 2. Again, you could have used quadratic equation where you're at that point. You could have done complete the squares if you're at that point. I'm showing different ways on purpose. I'm showing different ways.
Well, what's the formula we did on the problem before?
Negative b plus or minus negative b plus or minus the square root
Everyone, it's good to see
b
you.
squared minus 4
Memorial
a
Day.
c all over 2a.
The answer she was.
That one on the top left. Scarlett, I don't know if you're watching a video, mute it or something. X squared plus x minus 2. Let's use factoring. C is negative 2. A is, or B is 1. A happens to also be 1. So anything that multiplies to negative 2 that adds up to 1? Yeah. There's only so many things that multiply to negative 2. So 2 and negative 1. That adds up to positive 1. So for that situation, we know it's going to be x plus 2 and x minus 1. Oh, in parentheses, not a-
Are the A and C in parentheses on the formula?
Are A and C in parentheses?
Well, what
Like
did,
separate.
Yeah,
A
you can put them in parentheses because they're going to be multiplied. Jacob.
what did you just do? I'm still stuck at x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. What did you just do?
You're stuck at x squared.
No, I see x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. Then you did that whole BC thing. I don't know.
Yes.
What is that?
So what multiplies to negative 2, Jonathan? That adds to positive 1.
No, I got it. I usually never write B and C. Over
Oh, that's
there.
fine. I always like to identify just in case. So then we have that. We're going to solve each one separately. So put a line in between. X plus 2 equals 0. Subtract 2 on both sides. X equals negative 2. X minus 1 equals 0. Plus 1 on both sides. X equals 1. We're not done though. We have to plug it back in into the original equation. I'll plug in negative 2 first, and the bottom looks easier than the top. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. So this is going to be negative 2, comma, positive 6, because I plug in the negative 2. In the second one, I'm going to plug in 1. 1 times negative 3, negative 3. So we're going to close that too. Your two answers are negative 2 comma 6, 1 comma
Mr.
negative
Paul.
3.
Mr.
Scar?
Paul,
Yes.
for number 7, I did the other way. I did the negative b plus minus
Yeah.
and square root.
Uh-huh.
And I got down to 2 or negative 1. I don't know like what to do with it now. Do I just, like,
That's your x's. So you found 2 and negative 1. That's your x's. You got to plug it back in to get your y's.
do I have to?
Yeah, you do. You need the whole point.
What did you get?
I got negative 2 comma 6, 1 comma negative 3. It's over here in the middle of the screen.
Okay.
All right. Actually plug it in. Just make sure yourself. Okay. Don't just copy.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else has questions on 7?
Yeah,
And
can you do 7 with the other way? I'm like confused with it.
Sure. Let me do number 9, and I'll go back to 7 and do it the other way. Okay, Jacob? Because I want to make sure everyone is free to go if they feel.
All right.
But yeah, you have the option to do whatever, and I'll do a quadratic after this. Okay. Last one, number 9. What's their error? Let's look at it. They have your two equations here, but what did they try to do here? What did
Wait. Mr. Tabal,
Scarlett?
I got 2 as positive and 1 as negative.
It's negative b. Did you remember that?
What?
It's negative b plus or minus. Do you put negative?
Yeah, I did that. No, but doesn't it cancel out?
No, 3 is not negative in that situation. B is positive 3, right? So
I thought b was negative. I mean, b is positive. It cancels out because b is negative 3.
no.
And then
If you're talking about, you have 3x squared plus 3x minus 6. You forgot to add 3 on both sides. Is that possible?
But I
Because
got
you gotta
2
set
and
it-
1.
You gotta set it equal to 0 first, Scarlett, before you can do anything. So you gotta set it
I
equal.
did.
Okay, so it should be positive 3x, like right here.
I do have a positive 3x.
Like right here. Okay, so why is it become positive 3? It's negative positive 3.
No.
So it's negative 3.
B is negative 3.
No, you just said B was positive 3. Is it not positive 3x?
Now, in the equation, it's
Yeah.
negative B, and it's negative 3. So doesn't it cancel out?
It should be positive 3. Your equation's wrong then, because you plus 3 on both sides, right? You plus 3x, I'm sorry, on both sides. Because it starts negative 3, you got to move it over to get it to the other
I
side.
got
So
3x squared minus 3x minus 6. And then I got 9 plus 72 equals 81. And that's squared
your
equals...
error, I'm telling you your error, is that it should be positive 3x, just as I show right here where my little arrow is. Like literally
your
right
error?
here. You got a plus 3x on both sides. You might have minus 3x on both sides. All right, let me get over 9. So then anyone who feels confident could leave. Number 9, the key here is what they're doing wrong is that y equals 4, not x equals 4. So what did they did here? They plugged in x for 4, not y. So you have to set up equal to each other. You do not just plug in 4 for x, because it's y equals 4, not x equals 4. So your error for this one, you could just say it's y equals 4, not x equals 4. They plugged in 4 when they shouldn't have. Something along those lines. Okay? That goes over all the problems in the homework. Anyone here? Can you just type private chat with me? I'm here. So then I can mark you on attendance later. Just literally type me to the private chat, I'm here. And after you do that, you're free to go, okay? I'm going to go over number 7, though, with a quadratic equation, okay? I see you guys are here. Jonathan, Sam, Adira, Liam, Goldman, Scarlett, Jasmine, Shayna, Ellie, and Rebecca. I saw you right on here. You're good to go if you want to. I'm going to go over number 7, though.
Thank you, Mr. Joel. Have a good day.
No problem. See you around, guys.
Good day.
Bye-bye. All right, Jacob. So you want to go over the quadratic equation with number 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
No problem. So did you get up to here, though? The 3x squared plus 3x minus 6?
I got up to like simplifying part. I got negative 3 and then plus or minus negative 55 over 9. And I'm just stuck there. Like,
Oh, okay. So let me plug it in myself. Did you use?
wrong.
But you use 3x, and 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me plug it in. Let's see if we have any mistakes. So negative 3 plus or minus the square root 3 squared. I'll simplify it then. Minus 4 times 3 times negative 6. All over 2 times 3. I think so far so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's simplify some stuff. Negative 3 plus or minus. This square root is 9. Hey, double negative though, Jacob. So it's negative 4 times 3 times negative 6. It's going to be a positive. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 6 is 72.
Oh, I did 6 times. I don't know why I did 6 times 3 first, and then I multiplied by 4.
You should still get 72. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 times 4 is
Oh, I know what I did wrong. I didn't add a negative.
Yeah, that's right. It's very common mistake. Don't beat yourself up on it. Very common mistake. You forget the negative. Okay.
Okay.
So 9 plus 72 is now the square root of 81 when you add it together over 6. What's the
Okay.
square root of 81, man?
It's 9.
9. So negative 3 plus or minus 9 over 6. So we're going to do both of them.
I spotted my mistakes. I did 3 squared instead of 2 times 3. I don't know why.
Okay, so again, you will have the equation given to you on the thing. Just make sure you plug it in correctly. That's all, okay? You feel a little better about it?
Yeah.
All right. You want to stay on or you want to?
Yeah. Wait. Can we finish this one?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm going to stop recording though, okay?